Welcome to this special report from Action News. You're looking at a live picture now of the new frontier, now in its final moments. The Action News Hawk is hovering over the old hotel casino, which is set to come down in about 15 minutes. That's the countdown clock on the upper right-hand part of your screen. Good morning, everyone. I'm Steve Wolford. At 2:30, the Las Vegas Strip will lose another one of its legendary landmarks with the implosion of the new frontier. We have live team coverage to tell you what's coming down and what will eventually rise from the dust. Let's get started with Steve Ryan with more on all of the preps leading up to the implosion. Steve.
Steve, in just a few minutes, the new frontier will become the newest part of old Las Vegas history, and a lot of people have turned out to see this. There are expected to be about 500 people on this parking deck at the Fashion Show Mall here, and a lot of preparations have been made to protect those people from a demolition that will last just a few minutes.
Lit up for its fall from grace, the new Frontier Hotel and Casino will soon be just a memory of old Las Vegas.
8, 7, 6.
Freddie Rankin is leading the charge, so to speak. Freddie's crew's first order of business in the last few moments is to cover the surrounding casinos and restaurants in massive tarps.
We'll drop it down, sandbag it, make it nice and airtight so no dust goes inside that restaurant.
Is that the wrapping over there?
That's exactly what it looks like there. We did 5 trailers over here for the Perini compound.
The inside of the new Frontier looks much like it did when it was a new project, a concrete skeleton. Up until its last minutes, Freddie's crews have to keep doing safety checks outside.
The floors there weakens the building. The fabric is there because that's the floors that the dynamite is loaded on.
Before that dynamite detonates, crews will block off the streets and redirect traffic. The last of the logistics before the last curtain call.
So we got tension cables pulling it that way, so that way when it does fall, this side will fall, it'll yank this side over here.
So it's a very controlled operation.
Very controlled operations.
An operation that will last about 6 minutes after 2 months of preparation.
6 minutes, 2 months and millions of dollars. Crews won't tell me exactly how much it costs to destroy a building like this, but they will tell me that it is surely in the millions. Reporting live, Steve Ryan, Channel 13 Action News.
All right, Steve, thank you. Stay put there. We'll get back to you in just a minute. The new Frontier implosion, as you just saw, drawing a pretty good crowd. Spectators are being kept at a safe distance, but they're still close enough to get a good look at the show. Action News reporter Melanie Brooks picks up our team coverage on the strip, right by the implosion site. Melanie.
Hi, Steve. We have a front row seat to all of this. Our Action News cameras have the best seat in the house and the best pictures to show you. We are right in front of the Frontier. And of course, when everything comes down, we're going to be covered with a lot of that dust. So many people came down here tonight to take a peek at what's going on. They wanted to be a part of history. And even though they're a little sad it's coming down, they say the show must go on.
It's kind of sad to see it all go. So we figured we're in Vegas, we'll just watch.
A lifetime worth of history, moments away from being part of the past. The curiosity is there. Folks want to see the last few moments of this Las Vegas landmark.
This is really the original Vegas.
So you gotta watch it come down.
You gotta watch it, yep.
It is sad, but you know, new things are coming up. I guess it's progress. You gotta go ahead.
And when the dust settles, they can't wait to see what's next.
They want to make a lot of money here, so they gotta make it big.
And then from, history, you'll see what goes up here, but it'll always be part of the Frontier in the old Vegas.
And by the way, we can't wait to see, by the way, what happens when the dust settles as well. It's going to settle throughout this entire parking lot and probably cover a lot of the strip. But Action News has you covered, whether you're at home right now in your PJs, relaxing on the couch, or you're out here with us at the Las Vegas Strip watching history in the making. Such a special moment. We hear the helicopters above. We have cameras all over the place. People are actually stopping on the side of the freeway, pulling their cars over to see exactly what's going on. The Frontier all lit up tonight, and everyone waiting for that moment. Let's check the clock. I can see it right there. I think it says 13 minutes. It's kind of hard to see from here, but we'll keep you posted on what's going on, and we'll also show you all the gear they gave us to cover ourselves when the dust comes down. I'm Melanie Brooks reporting live. Steve, I'll send it back to you.
All right, thanks, Melanie. And I guess tonight anyway, or this morning, as you might instead call it, we could call it History in the Unmaking. Another live look at the new Frontier. This is one of dozens of angles we have to show you of the implosion. You'll also see it from the ground as well as from the Action News Hawk high above the strip. And how about this one? A camera on top of the building, as well as one inside the New Frontier, so you can watch it come down from the inside out. There'll also be a fireworks show right before the implosion, so we'll bring all of that to you live in about 9 minutes and 20 seconds. Before we look ahead, let's rewind the clock a few years. The New Frontier opened in 1930 as a nightclub called Paradise. Paradise. That name changed a few more times until 1955, when it was modernized and became the New Frontier. There's a lot of entertainment history tied to the place. Elvis Presley made his first Las Vegas performance there in 1956. Over the past, other headliners include Siegfried and Roy, Wayne Newton. Also, this is where Diana Ross performed her final show with the Supremes in 1970. That's why a lot of longtime locals are understandably sad the New Frontier has to make way for progress.
See, we're kind of obsolete now. You know, we don't have the things that they have across the street and down the street.
It's just the history of it. There's not a lot of history in Las Vegas. Everything goes away, and it's always changing.
The New Frontier has had several different owners through the years, including Steve Wynn and Howard Hughes. That's the glamorous part of its history, but the New Frontier was also the site of the longest-running labor strike in U.S. history. As Action News reporter Ben Deasy tells us, back in the 90s, workers walked the picket lines for more than 6 years.
Cocktail?
A Las Vegas landmark, also a landmark in American labor. This was the scene of the longest strike in our country's history.
We still do hold the record, and it was hard.
Hereby declare this an unlawful assembly.
600 workers took to the picket lines, risking arrest. They even shut down the Strip.
There was violence on both sides, but you know, when people walk by and tell you to get a job, and you're like, I have a job, it's right in there, and these people are crossing the picket line. I'm one of the people that was arrested.
In 1997, the strife and the strike came to an end as ownership of the Frontier changed hands. And even though the Frontier isn't long for this world, those who took a stand there say they know the legacy of that difficult time will abide.
My nieces, my nephew, we're like a great big family. We were working for their kids too, because now they're all grown now, most of them, and they're working union jobs.
Lamley says she's hoping to land another union job on the Strip too, as we reach the end of the Frontier, but the beginning of what she calls a stronger service industry on the Strip.
And let's get you back upstairs right now, give you another look at the New Frontier from the Action News Hawk. Everything is going right on schedule right now on the ground, leading up to the 2:30 implosion about 6.5 minutes from now. The weather's also cooperating. Winds right now are calm, and that's well under the 10-mile-an-hour limit set by the demolition crew. Let's go once again to Action News reporter Steve Ryan joining us on the ground with more on this chapter of Las Vegas history coming to a close. Steve?
Steve, from a bird's eye view to the ground view, you can't go wrong. We've got you covered from every angle. Look at all these people out here by Fashion Show Mall. There are expected to be about 500 people here for the very end of the New Frontier. The New Frontier opened in 1942. This building, the main building of the hotel and casino, is 16 stories tall. When it closed, it was undoubtedly very bittersweet for employees, many of whom spent their careers working there. Employees, well, when they were asked to leave, they were given severance packages. Now, a lot of time and effort has been put into this demolition. Preparing for the demolition took about 2 months. Demolition crews gutted the entire building, so it's nothing more than a concrete skeleton right now, with the facade of the New Frontier that you see in front of you all lit up for its fall from grace in just a few minutes. The demolition cost in the millions of dollars. Crews won't tell me exactly how much, but millions is a safe bet, they say. Inside the New Frontier right now is 1,500 pounds of dynamite in 5,000 holes that were drilled. When the drilling crews started that drilling, they found more reinforced rebar in the building than they expected. That caused them to have to do a little more planning for the demolition, so it took a little bit longer to organize than they expected. The cleanup after this demolition is vital, operations crews tell me. They're hoping to have the streets that were closed down reopened by 4:30 in the morning. The cleanup will last throughout tomorrow night, though, but one of their main concerns is the amount of dust that will fall, because the Strip, Las Vegas Boulevard, is how the city makes a lot of its money, so they're going to have street sweeping crews out here just as soon as the demolition's over with, to try to get things cleaned up as quickly as possible and to get several lanes of Las Vegas Boulevard reopened to get commerce and business back rolling through the Strip. That's the very latest now. Reporting live, Steve Ryan, Channel 13 Action News.
Steve, it's kind of interesting. Very quickly, you had mentioned earlier, and you showed us some video that when they gutted the inside of that, it almost looked brand new inside. It looked like, like they were getting ready to bring the carpet in and just build a new hotel from the inside out.
It did. Actually, the New Frontier looked like the new project it was some dozens of years ago. And actually, crews almost did the reverse of what they did putting all that carpet in. They tell me that they actually had bobcats, those little tractor-like looking things you see in construction sites, on every floor of the New Frontier, all 16 floors, and they were going through there just ripping up the carpet, taking out the plumbing, everything.
All right, Steve, thanks, and we'll be back to you in just a moment or two. When the New Frontier finally comes down, it'll join a long list of landmarks that have fallen into the desert to give rise to the ever-changing Las Vegas skyline. October 1993, a hotel that had been around since 1955 came down in dramatic style, signaling the beginning of a new era of mega resorts on the Strip. Today, that property is home to the Bellagio. Just 2 years later, the futuristic-themed Landmark Casino met its demise. The fate is immortalized in the movie Mars Attacks, in which the Landmark is destroyed by Martians. In its place, nothing more than a parking lot.
Fire.
Probably one of the more memorable implosions happened in 1996 when the home of Frank Sinatra and the Rat Pack was destroyed. The 44-year-old Sands Resort was imploded to make way for Sheldon Adelson's Venetian. 1997 came in with a bang, literally, with the implosion of the Hacienda on the south end of the Strip. Tourists and locals rang in New Year's Eve with an amazing fireworks display at the future home of Mandalay Bay. Hard to forget this impressive display. The Aladdin was blown up in 1998 to make way for the Aladdin. It's now Planet Hollywood. On the north end of the Strip, the old El Rancho sat empty for 8 years before its tower was imploded. The new Fontainebleau Casino is being built on that site with an expected opening in 2008. The recently renovated Desert Inn Hotel had no shot at survival. Its 3 towers came down in 2 separate implosions, one in 2001, the other in 2004. Steve Wynn built his masterpiece, Wynn Las Vegas, on that property. It's soon to be followed by a second tower, Encore. One of the smaller implosions made way recently for major progress. MGM Grand brought down the boardwalk with its famous roller coaster and clown facade. It's the site of MGM's Project City Center. And just a few months ago in March, probably the largest implosion we've seen in many years. The historic Stardust was reduced to a pile of rubble. The $4 billion Echelon Place is expected to open there in 2010. So that's a little bit of what we have to look forward to in a little more than a minute. Let's go back to Action News reporter Melanie Brooks joining us live on this area. Just kind of adjacent to that, you've got a perfect front row seat for this, Melanie.
Steve, it's perfect, and watching all of that footage of the implosions that took place in the past makes you real anxious to see what's going to happen in just, wow, less than a minute now. And of course, they give us all the goods. You couldn't have the implosion without the hard hat, without the groovy sunglasses that I can't even quite get on because I have my mic, and the mask right here, because they say the dust comes down very, very thick. It will cover this entire parking lot and even part of the Strip. And of course, my colleague Steve Ryan, who is very, very close to here, just across the way, they're going to get covered as well. But that's part of the excitement. You see everything coming down. You see all the people around here, the helicopters in the sky, including ours and all of our cameras, and everyone very, very excited. The folks that we talked to tonight tell us they were sad to see this go, and they're sad to see it come down. But so many people from out of town say they can't believe the Strip. When they see it, the Las Vegas Strip takes on a whole new meaning, because old Vegas, of course, is giving way to new Vegas, and a lot of the buildings that are taking place and a lot of the progress that we're seeing. So very exciting stuff. We're just counting down the minutes when I get to put these things on and see history once again, as you said, in the unmaking. I'll send it back to you.
Okay, there we go. I believe this is all going to be preceded by a fireworks, so we'll get a little bit of a heads up on what's going to happen. But before the New Frontier closed last July, it was a Western-themed resort, of course, as everybody knows. Home, of course, to the infamous Gilley's Mechanical Bull. This is a 16-story building by postmodern Las Vegas standards. That'd make it on the shorter side. This implosion, by the way, is the first step to clear the site to make way for dozens of new apartments, shops, and a resort, tentatively called Las Vegas Plaza. And you can see the fireworks show starting now, so we'll go ahead and listen in and let you watch the goodbye of the New Frontier. There it is, live, the absolutely spectacular passing of another Las Vegas landmark to make way for a new one someday. And by Las Vegas standards, that was an incredible send-off to the New Frontier. Let's go to Action News reporter Melanie Brooks. She's been on that lot adjacent to the New Frontier, or now what's left of it. Melanie, are you with us?
Yes, Steve, I'm right here. We're actually just watching the dust cloud sort of creep across the parking lot, and it's sort of startling in a way. You expect the noise to be great. They even give you earplugs when you're out here, but when it actually happens, I think a lot of our crew just jumped for a moment because we saw what happened. We saw the prelude to it, all of the fireworks and all of the noise, and now take a look behind me. You can see the dust cloud coming closer and closer to us, where it's going to cover everything in the parking lot. So we have our masks ready, and we can see the rubble that is left of the Frontier. It is amazing how quickly that comes down with a fireworks show, with a bang, and now all that's left of part of Las Vegas, old Las Vegas, is a giant ball of dust that's rolling across the parking lot. I'm Melanie Brooks reporting live. Steve, we'll send it back to you.
All right, thanks, Melanie. And a moment ago, Steve Ryan had been telling us how much the actual implosion was going to cost. It was going to be in the millions of dollars. Steve is live with us once again. And Steve, I think part of that cost was this incredible fireworks show. We even had the countdown clock on the front of the hotel and then the fuse going up to watch it go.
That was great, wasn't it? You know, I got to say my favorite part of that, though, was the actual detonator that went down in stages right before it blew up. But, you know, take a look at this. This is what's left of 16 stories of the New Frontier. And I got to say, kind of a fitting send-off. The New Frontier was once based on the Old West and kind of went out with a bang, a shootout of fireworks, and then a very, very heavy concussion of an explosion. And you know, crews aren't wasting any time here. They're already starting the cleanup. You see this boom lift here. They're going to move that in. Crews are going to take down any tall pieces of debris that may be left. And kind of funny, when the dust came rolling in, the people started moving out. There were more than 500 people here at the Fashion Show Mall for this detonation, and you can see they're all moving out pretty quickly because that dust is getting in their eyes and everything. And I can't blame them because it's rolling in now, and we're about 800 feet away from where the detonation happened, which is the minimum that we were allowed to be. And right now I'm starting to smell what smells like gunpowder coming in from the implosion, and it's really something else, a very fitting send-off. This cleanup will last throughout tomorrow night. They're going to have street sweepers on the street. Hopefully they're going to get Las Vegas Boulevard reopened completely by about 4:30 in the morning. So, hey, you see that? People are having a great time out here. Can't go wrong. So that's the very latest here. Everything's getting wrapped up, and the New Frontier has just become the latest part of old Las Vegas history.
All right.
Reporting live, Steve Ryan, Channel 13 Action News.
All right, thank you, Steve, and definitely a crowd pleaser out there. By the way, if you miss any part of tonight's implosion, if you'd like to watch it a few more times, just go to our website, KTNV.com, after this special report, and we'll start putting video from every angle on the website, including the aerials that you see right there from the Action News Hawk. It almost looks like the Wynn Las Vegas is now enveloped in that dust cloud. Let's re-rack the tape here one more time. This is the countdown clock leading up to the implosion, and once again, as Steve was mentioning, watch for the plunger coming down, and you'll be able to see the fuse light and watch the New Frontier come down one more time.
That's cool. No.
And there it is, the encore performance of the New Frontier getting a fitting send-off as it fades into the dust of Las Vegas Strip history. Let's go ahead and give you one more look here. And before we say goodbye, this is the rubble. This is all that's left after the spectacular goodbye of the New Frontier. This is a live picture now of the rubble pile that now stands on that site. Soon to rise from it, I should say, in the next 4 years, a new $5 to $8 billion resort, including apartments, hotels, shops, reportedly to be modeled after the Plaza Hotel in New York, and that is set to open about 4 years from now. So construction on that begins next year. That's it for our live coverage of the New Frontier implosion. We really hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll have much more on Action News Early Edition at 4:30. I'm Steve Wolford. For all of us at Channel 13, thank you for staying up with us, and we'll leave you now with one last look at the New Frontier's final goodbye.